want to get some thoughts, though, on this news. Ashok Kumar is Managing Director, Senior Technical Analyst over at Rodman and Renshaw, covers this area. So, Ashok, what are your thoughts? You were expecting Verizon to be named at some point.
Yes, we were. I think this is a highly anticipated event, given Apple has saturated the existing carrier channel, and for them to continue to outpace the market growth as well as stem some of the momentum in the Android camp. I think Verizon was an eventuality, and they appear to have signed up Tech and the subsidiary Pegatron to manufacture the CDMA phone for the Verizon network, which will launch as indicated late this year, early next year.
It's interesting, Ashok, because just a few weeks ago, I was in the Apple store looking to order the iPhone 4. The system was down because so many people were putting in pre-orders. They sold, I think, 1.4 million of these things already, more than any of the others right at the start. It's a huge release, even though they apparently have problems with the antenna. So making telephone calls, if you want to hold the thing in your hand, is not very easy. Does it make a big deal that they've sold so many of these things to customers on the AT&T network that people complain about so much right before they announce that they're going to go with Verizon in January?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a zero-sum game. I think Verizon, and given the significantly higher bandwidth capacity, I think will result in much higher user satisfaction level. And if you look at the volumes, historical volumes of iPhone, it's been oscillating between 8 to 9 million units a quarter, and we think they'll expand to 10 million units plus in the September quarter, and then potentially approaching 15 million units per quarter in the December. So this is a phenomenal ramp, and I think that momentum is set to continue with the announcement at Verizon.
Well, for sure, and it wasn't exactly unexpected that Verizon would get it, right? Because everybody's been pushing for this forever. I think the real story here is AT&T, because they are going to have a lot of customers who say, I know so many people, we all know so many people who say, I'm waiting to buy the iPhone until Verizon issues it. So for AT&T, this could be a real problem as far as ramping down the sales of iPhones until January.
Absolutely. That's a very good point, because thus far, most of the iPhone sales have been install base, replacements and upgrades. And now I think Apple, slash Verizon have the opportunity to poach the competition's install base. And I think it's a win-win situation, both from Verizon's perspective as well as Apple's perspective.
Cris Valerio, I want to bring you into this conversation. You're out there on the West Coast. This is a Bloomberg exclusive story about Verizon and Apple and the iPhone. Your thoughts here?
I guess the first thing I would have to say is, remember, just about a week ago, Carol, we had that report from Goldman Sachs that said that they were expecting it to come out in January. So it was already kind of in the market a little bit. Bloomberg News able to confirm that. Congrats to Amy Thompson for that. I do have to say, you guys, and I kind of want to ask our analysts a question, what this means for RIM. I mean, we want to talk about who dominates the smartphone space right now. We well know that RIM, BlackBerry's dominated, but more and more people are able to get their phone, the phone that they want, with the service that they want. Shares plunging. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, because the success of the BlackBerry OS 6, which is expected to be released in September, is critical in terms of market acceptance. If the company fails to achieve traction with the OS 6 release as well as the related hardware, I think then it's a downward slide for the company. So right now, it's basically a story around Android and Apple OS, and everybody else is essentially left fighting for the crumbs left on the table.